All right, so good morning, everyone, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the pitch session of the United Arab Bank Innovation Challenge as part of the SCA Fintech Hackathon. Today, we have 4 fintech startups pitching for the solution of AI for hyper-personalized investment promotion offers. Now, this challenge in particular will help the bank channel to present appropriate personalized financial promotion to investors based obviously on their investors' financial activity and goals empowered by AI. On the Phoenix 22 Fintech Galaxy platform, we have received 694 challenge page views, which are expressions of interest. We received 15 submissions. 9 were shortlisted in the first round from 5 countries. And after long debates and pitching with Ayman and Salim and the rest of the team, we have 4 finalists from 4 countries. Before we start with the pitching session, I'm going to introduce Her Excellency Dr. Mariam Aboutissuwaidi, the acting CEO of SCA, to give few words. And then we're going to move to Ahmed Abu Aida, CEO of UAB Bank, before we head to the Pitchoffs. Dr. Mariam?
Thank you, Myrna. Good morning to everybody, and thank you for having me here today to witness the UAB pitch competition under the SCA Fintech Megathon, the first of its kind innovation program for the UAE capital markets. I'm delighted to welcome the judges, the competing fintechs, and the audience to the UAB Innovation Challenge, the second competition under the SCA Fintech Megathon. To begin, I would like to provide a little background on the SCA Fintech Megathon for those who are not familiar with it. It is a mega innovation program that will run till February 2022, aimed at developing the fintech industry in the UAE and focus on finding fintech solutions to financial services challenges in several thematic areas like asset management, investment advisory, digital asset exchanges, forex trading, crowdfunding, eKYC, SMEs, financing, financial inclusion, subtech, and regtech. The SCA's mission is to protect the rights of investors, promote sound practices, and create an environment to attract capital using innovative systems and processes, while promoting a culture of innovation in an institutional workplace. In line with the theme of today's challenge, the SCA has always provided detailed guidance on the investment business regulations within the UAE, covering investment advisory and investment promotion, reflecting an enhanced focus in the UAE on investment and financial promotion activities. The release of the SCA promotion regulations in the year 2017 had marked a significant shift in the UAE's regulatory treatment of the promotion of investment products, as it laid down a clear regulatory regime and conduct rules for investment promotion within the UAE. Since then, SCA has authorized numerous reputed financial institutions to promote financial products in the UAE, which has enhanced their availability to investors in the country. With the advent of the digital age, investors demand customized offering that deliver personalized services, products, and pricing. As per PwC report on Financial Services Technology 2020 and beyond, embracing disruption, hyper-personalization is an imperative for financial institutions, enabling them to respond to customers' manifest and latent needs. In this respect, effective financial product design requires financial institutions to not only anticipate the customer's need, but exceed them, which can be achieved by harnessing the power of analytics and artificial intelligence, AI. Such transformative results can be achieved only by bringing together the whole of the UAE's fintech ecosystem of innovators, financial institutions, and regulators on a single platform to drive the theme of our megathon, which is reimagining the future of inclusive financial services. Very much looking forward to seeing the 4 pitches today. I wish the participants luck and turn over to UAB. Thank you.
Well, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. It is a great pleasure and a great day for United Arab Bank to be joining hands with SCA on this journey of innovation. United Arab Bank is an old or a financial institution in the UAE, established in '75, almost the age of our beloved UAE. Now, we are taking measurable steps towards the digital age. There will be quite a number of announcements as to the direction before year end, inshallah. We've already started very aggressively on this drive. Now, as a token of our support to SCA, as a token of course, being one of our regulators as well at the same time, and as a token of support to the fintech community, United Arab Bank has embarked on this journey. We are heavily using and will be heavily using fintechs in the future, and the collaboration between banks and fintechs, in my opinion, is quite beneficial for both. So this is where we stand today. I am very much looking forward to listening to the fintechs and their innovative ideas, especially on collaboration on AI. And very much like to thank Fintech Galaxy for all the support that they are giving to United Arab Bank in particular on this journey. And inshallah, as I mentioned, there will be quite a number of announcements, and inshallah, United Arab Bank will be renowned for being probably one of the most innovative banks in the UAE, with the support of fintechs, and this is ingrained in our beliefs towards the future. So, without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Mirna and the Pitchoff. And thank you very much, Your Excellency, so very much.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Dr. Mariam. Let's start with a big pitch off. I'm going to hand over the floor to my colleague, Hisham Rawas, our Chief Innovation Officer, to introduce the judges, and then, of course, the fintechs. Hisham?
Thank you, Mirna. Thank you. And good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And welcome for today's pitch. Let me start by introducing our judges. We have Mr. Muhammad Al-Ali, Head of Listed Companies and Investment Supervision in SCA. Ms. Pooja Singh, International Organization Expert in SCA. Mr. Ayman Al-Qudsi, Chief Information Officer at UAB. And finally, Mr. Salim Al-Khadar, Head of Distribution Retail Banking at UAB. Let me again also come in to introduce the ground floors, the ground rules for the pitches. We have 5 minutes for each pitch, for each fintech, and then we have 5 minutes for Q&A. Okay, and then after that we'll have a time of 10 minutes. So we'll have to we'll leave with the judges. We'll have a discussion together on the side until we agree on the winner, and then we'll come back to introduce the winner. Okay, so now let me introduce the first pitch. We introduce Nerve Solutions, Mr. Mihir Malani. Please, the floor is yours. Perfect. Mihir, you have 5 minutes for the pitch and 5 minutes for Q&A. Please, you can start now. Mihir?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, so our product is called STAR, which is Smart Train Analytics and Recommendation System. The end goal, of course, is a list of things that we'll be arriving at using the product. The product is basically a fully white labeled system, and Star will feed off live information from the liquidity provider or the bank to arrive at real-time position monitoring, periodic reports, autonomous alerts, insights and analytics, and most importantly, client categorization and smart recommendations. The client categorization and smart recommendations can then be consumed by UAB's team to provide tailored services to their end clients, or by the UAB's clients themselves directly to be able to better manage their investment decisions. Now, how do we achieve this? The planned steps are, the first and foremost would be data collection. So we would be collecting the historical data from the bank to arrive at our models or to fine tune our models. On top of that, we would start collecting the live data of investment and trade decisions that are happening at the bank's database and feed that live into the system. Post that, we would do the feature extraction, which is basically the different features across which our clients would be categorized. Then the most important step of factorization and categorization, wherein every single client would be categorized across different buckets. I'll come to more of this in detail in the next few slides. And then finally, we'll create the entire data fabric, which basically can be used by the bank as well as by our system to keep fine-tuning the overall recommendation system and the algorithm that we'll be developing. Now, how does the categorization algo work? The categorization algo is the most important feature of Star, wherein every single investor would be categorized across different buckets based on certain features like age of the investor, the profession of the investor, the income of the investor, the risk appetite, sector preference. Let's say the investor prefers tech as a sector, banks as a sector, halal investment, so on and so forth, and the time horizon. What is the kind of time duration that the client prefers for his investment, his or her investment decisions, which is whether it is long term, medium term, short term, and so on. Once we have done the categorization, there would be a model portfolio of investments that would be assigned to every single category. Now, how this works is initially we would start off with very few categories, let's say 5 to 10 categories. But as the model moves on over a period of time, the idea would be to increase the number of categories, say to 50, 60, or even 100 or beyond, so that the tailored services or rather the recommendations that we give to each client are more and more tailored. So initially, maybe 1,000 clients would be categorized in one single category, but going forward, it would be 10, 15, 20 clients across one single category. So the investment decisions or the recommendations are more and more suited to every single client. Now, coming back to the model portfolio, for every single category, there would be a model portfolio, and the model portfolio would include various investment instruments across different sectors: equity, metals, real estate, even cryptos, fixed deposits, bonds, and so on and so forth. And based on the changes in the model portfolio, the investors would be alerted, or rather even the account managers would be alerted that every time a particular model portfolio changes, the recommendations are given out to the clients on a real-time basis. Also, the beauty of this system is that it is real-time. It can be made to run on a second-by-second basis and not on a weekly or a daily basis, which traditionally systems work on. So we have the flexibility to make it absolutely real-time. This is more or less the structure. We'll have the historical data and the live data being fed into the consolidation and feature extraction algorithm. From there, it feeds data or decisions into Star, and from Star, they are sent out to individual clients as well as account managers and even other sections or other departments within the bank. Just giving you a couple of illustrations here. For example, how this will work is, let's say one client moves from a low volume category to a high volume category one fine day, or between, let's say, middle of the day. Alerts are thrown out to the respective account managers as well as concerned people within the bank. The managers can then look at the activity of the client and then recommend certain investment products to the client. Another would be, let's say, activity based. So the engine knows that a particular client is most active between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning. So most of the recommendations will be sent out to the client only between 9 to 11, because we know that it's extremely likely that the client would make his or her investment decisions in the morning, because that's the preferred time for the client based on the activity log that we have in the system. Again, the recommendations could be instrument based also. We know that certain clients prefer a certain kind of instrument, and the UAB's account management team or the system itself knows exactly which instruments to recommend to the client based on the preferred instruments or sectors of the client. Again, these are all thrown out by the algorithms running at Star engine. These are some tentative timelines. Assuming we started off on 2nd August, these will shift by a week now. Assuming we start off tomorrow, we expect to do the entire integration by the end of December. And like I said, this will be a completely white label product and would be, for the end client, this would be a product of UAB and not of Know Solutions.
Perfect. Thank you, Mihir. Time is up. Thank you. Judges, the floor is yours.
Yes. Thank you, STAR team. I got about 3 or 4 questions. When you showed the architect of the design, you mentioned the star. The star was in the middle of your diagram. If you go back to the presentation where you have your architectural design, your star you're referring to as an MDM solution or as your data modeling? It's going to act as a, yeah, that star.
Yes.
That seems a little bit fuzzy, not clear. So what's star itself?
So star itself is nothing but an algorithm. It's like a set of APIs, and it will run at a server level within the UAB bank. It does not have a front end. It does not have. It only has a back end and an entire engine, which is basically composed of categorization algos and AI algos. How it works is the entire front end for UAB will be built by us, and at the back end would be powered by Star. And that's why we call it a completely white label system, because for the user, for the end client, it is going to be UAB's front end, and not anything else.
But that back-end system, Star, that will depend on the data warehousing that should be in place at our back-end, right?
So what we do is at the time of integration, so Star requires data in a particular structure. We understand UAB would have data in a different structure. So there's a one-time integration. When we say the integration, we would include the steps wherein we would convert the data that is available to us in UAB structure into the structure that is readable by Star. So there's that one-time handshake would be required. Yes.
And do you have a ready-made out-of-the-box data model for your design?
We do, but we've actually, so our systems are mostly developed for capital markets. So there's a lot of trading related insights that we can give out. But in terms of the banking products, we would have to fine tune the model.
All right. And you showed in your project plan by end of December, the delivery of the POC?
Yes.
This is assuming we start by November 5th, you're saying? I can't see the dates.
So I've assumed 2nd of August as the start date, assuming we start off tomorrow, which is 9th or 10th, we still end up by end of December.
So we'll give you, and the POC will give you a real case scenario that relates to UAB, and you guys are committed to deliver this real case scenario by end of December.
That's right, yes.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Salam.
Okay, my question is, do you have a scenario implemented in retail banking before?
No, not really, sir. Like I said, we have 20 plus clients in India and a couple of clients in Dubai, but they are mostly related to capital markets and trading. So our clientele is mostly on the capital markets and trading side. That's why we are used to developing products on a real-time basis. For the banking, this would be our first project, but the use case fits perfectly into.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We're done from you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Any further questions from the judges?
So, Mihir, hi, this is Pooja from SCA. So my question is more on the regulatory side, is more regarding the data. What I understand is that you have an algorithm, which is Star, which I think you will embed into the system of UAB.
That's
so will there be any kind of data security concerns or anything we should be concerned about? Because I understand your algorithm would be, or your systems are based in India, right?
So Pooja, how it works is this entire system would be installed or rather set up within the premises of UAB and servers of UAB. Not a single data point goes outside of UAB, whether it is the investment decision data or whether it is the results that are given out by Star. That's typically how we work with all our clients. These are all on-prem systems and setups, so nothing goes outside of UAB.
Okay. And one more question related is, do you have anybody on the team who has experience with banking? Because I agree with Damon that, okay, I understand you can customize it, but you need someone because we are talking of hyper personalization here.
Right, right.
Which is taking one step beyond core banking. So,
right. So to be honest, we honestly do not have anybody with a banking background, but we're extremely confident because we work with everything related to capital markets. Even we have a risk, a real-time risk product, which is overseeing average daily asset size of about $400 million on a daily basis. And it's all related to capital markets, but really not banking products. But we'll need, when we have the historical data of UAB, and when that gets mapped to the entire investor decision making, that's pretty much all that we need to train the model, and everything else remains untouched.
Perfect. Any more questions? We're good. Great. Thank you so much, Mir, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the next pitch, it will be Loon Technologies. Hilal Tariq.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا مرحبا الجميع. أولا أشكركم على الفرصة هذه. And inshallah we'll start. My name is Hilal Luta. I'm the co-founder of Loon, and I'm going to start with a little bit of a background behind what Loon is and why we started Loon. So Loon is your digital personal financial assistant that helps users track their spending, save for their goals, and invest for their future. Basically, Loon started from a personal issue that both Alexi, my co-founder, and myself faced in our previous careers in the Dubai courts, myself and Alexi in management consulting. And this problem was very simple. This issue was the fact that we found saving to be very difficult here in the UAE. We found the issue of tracking our finances to be cumbersome, and there's no tools, seamless tools to help us manage our finances. So we've built Loon as a mobile application that stands on 3 pillars: on allowing users to understand how they are spending their money, where they are spending their money, and what they can do to optimize their spending. So first of all, we give users an understanding of where they're spending their money through automatic categorization. And then we give them an interactive budgeting tool for them to understand how much they can save and how much they can spend. Now, we're looking to pilot our B2B product in a partnership with UAB. And Loon will allow UAB's customers to get control of their finances and optimize their saving and spending, and then in the end, optimize their investments through an interactive user experience, the automatic categorization, and the interactive budgeting tool. At the same time, it will allow UAB to start developing customer profiles and understanding exactly who their customers are, understanding how much they're spending, how much they're saving, and how much they can optimize for spending, while increasing their financial awareness, and help them automate their financial planning and saving goals. This is a very typical user persona and pain points faced by typical retail clients here in the UAE, where a lot of customers have issues with understanding where their money is going, where they can invest, and how much they can invest. And this is what we ultimately aim to tackle. Now, an integration with UAB could be on twofold. First of all, we can integrate an SDK if the user experience is of importance. Otherwise, we can integrate direct APIs. Users will log in via the normal UAB onboarding requirements and authentication requirements as required by the regulations. And the transaction and data will go through our engine. Now, where would this apply for UAB and their products? For example, we can start getting financial products pre-approved. by first of all calculating the average monthly income of the user, their average monthly balances, and then starting to pre-approve them against the benchmarks of each specific financial product, making this targeting process much more efficient. Now, when it comes to investment targeting, the approach we're taking is that for users to understand how much they wish to invest and how much they should invest on a monthly basis to build a very long-term relationship with the client, users need to understand their whole finances to start with. Now I'm talking about whether it's small retail clients to big clients. So our engine will identify their monthly cash inflows and calculate their monthly incomes, and then identify the overall monthly balance. And then we will seek to optimize their savings and maximize the monthly amounts that they could set aside for investment products. This will increase their the frequency of their deposits as they go throughout the month and through the interactive user experience. This is a little bit of a background about myself and Alexi, my co-founder. And we have our whole team inbuilt here based in Dubai. So thank you very much, and look forward to your questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Please.
Hilal, I have a question with regards, do you have any approval from central bank regulations with regard to the consumer protection?
Not at this stage. We're a software company that we're developing this, and we want to pilot it with the financial institutions, and then we'll look into these things.
So still you're not live in the market?
So with a financial institution, no, not at this stage.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, يعطيك العافية خلال.
الله يعافيك.
Presentation ممتاز to the point. My first question to you, have mentioned an SDK through our mobile app for UAB, right?
Yes.
What about online? So if I have an online user, they will, whenever they log into the online, they will have an integration directly to your app, or this is only to mobile?
No, we support online and web, but it really, in essence, depends on the systems of UAB. So if it's compatible or not, we'll have to look into it.
This is something important because we want to ensure that the feel and look is the same when it comes
Absolutely.
to mobile versus online. So we want to make sure that it will work for both platforms.
So our system supports both web and mobile. But yeah, so it does support.
All right. In regard to the data, because you're pulling tons of data from all over the UAB data platform, are you depending on an existing data warehouse, or you have your own data modeling?
Currently, the way we've built it, so we've built the app, so it's operational on a B2C approach, and we're using AWS and cloud services. But as we understand, if we will integrate with a financial institution, that we have to adhere to the central bank requirements, as you mentioned, the consumer protection and the other data requirements. So we're aiming to move the AWS once they open the Abu Dhabi servers, to move it to the Abu Dhabi server to start with. But again, if there is a preference with UAB for different cloud providers or direct servers, then that's something we can definitely look at.
Got it. And my last question in regards to the data, I believe your app is providing an advisory recommendation on static data, but not dynamic data. So for example, you're going to be presenting a recommendation on my saving account, but you're not going to be pulling data from my credit card expenses to recommend how I should save, use more of a credit card. You see what I'm saying? Like, are you putting dynamic data or static data?
So we pull transactions live, so both credit cards and bank accounts. So basically, just to explain it in a more simple way, let's take the use case of myself, Hilal, for example. In the Dubai cost, for example, I had a specific salary. Loon analyzes how much you're spending every month on your credit card and on your balance, and starts giving you insights that, okay, Lali, maybe you don't need to spend this much. Here, let's start setting aside this amount for this specific investment product, which is an investment product provided by UAB. This way you efficiently maximize, you efficiently target, and you efficiently maximize the product offering also.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Afwan Hisham, but my last question. So in the POC now, we're talking about the POC now, so we can compare apples to apples with the other vendors. You're proposing to provide a POC, right?
Yes.
And the time frame for the delivery of the POC?
So this, we really need to understand the systems of UAB. I can't understand before we look at like the technical.
And high level, are we talking 3 to 6 months time frame, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Not longer than that, absolutely.
All right, that's excellent. Thank you.
Allah help.
يعطيك العافية حبيبي.
السلام عليكم. الأخ هلال يعطيك العافية في البداية. I had one question about the sources of data. We are talking about a client that has maybe relationships with multiple banks. They have, for example, a relationship with Emirates MBD, and then they have their maybe salary with United maybe Arab banks. So in this scenario, how you can track all the data, and is there a solution for this kind of maybe scenarios?
So the proposition that we're proposing for a partnership with the financial institutions will confine this to the data within that specific financial institution. The reason being is that, as mentioned earlier, the new consumer protection regulations by the central bank is a little bit more tricky when it comes to exposing data from other banks to other financial institutions. So in our current proposition to UAB, it will be confined within UAB's banks, UAB's customers. However,
that's understood, but I think from maybe also SCA point of view, whenever a recommendation is put for a client, his portfolio as a whole need to be considered. So this is something I think that need to be highlighted for any investment. For example, if you are recommending an investment in ETFs or in stocks, his whole portfolio need to be considered, I think, in this situation. So this is something that maybe you need to consider maybe going forward.
So from my answer was more from the situation, the regulation situation, as I understand it, perhaps, of course, عندكم العلم الأكثر يعني. But from a technical perspective, then we can look at a solution for that situation.
Perfect. I guess we're done. Thank you so much, Hilal, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll introduce Casisto, Justin Arnoldi. Perfect. Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Just a brief introduction of Casisto as a company. Essentially, we were spun out of SRI, the Stanford Research Institute, back in 2014, which was on the back of a collaboration between SRI and BBVA, the Spanish banking conglomerate, essentially to create a financial services virtual assistant. So we essentially had the AI and the data science smarts of SRI combined with the deep financial services knowledge of BBVA. So we've been working across the globe in a number of different banks, specifically in digital assistance for financial services. From an investment perspective, we recently just concluded our Series C funding, taking our total VC funding to date to $67 million. The Series C was led by NCR. We have a deep partnership with NCR, predominantly out of the United States. But they led this Series C round recently. Just in terms of what we actually do from a solution perspective, essentially we provide intelligent digital assistance specifically targeted for financial institutions across these 3 segments. Consumer banking, so really looking at the consumers out there across checking accounts, credit cards, home loan products, unsecured lending. So that's, dealing with financial literacy and information around accounts, but also full transaction capability for consumers. We also have investment management, which is been pioneered out of Westpac down in Australia. So really looking at trading, of stocks, as well as portfolio balancing and management. And then our business banking capability. And we have quite a significant deployment there in the treasury management space, specifically deployed at JP Morgan and recently the Bank of Montreal. So you could see just by the breadth of it, we have quite a long-standing pedigree of working with some of the largest financial services organizations, on the planet, in a number of different markets, from Singapore, the US, actually in the UAE with deployment at Live, with Emirates NBD, and then a couple of deployments with ABSA. I think that's 10 banks in 9 countries in Africa. So the platform itself, we are deployed at scale with some proven results. We deployed, as I said, in 16 different countries in multiple languages. Key thing around our technology is that our AI models are pre-trained with upwards of 4,000 proven skills, proven in production. Usage of the platform, over 18 million actual users of the technology in both authenticated and unauthenticated transactions. Essentially, what we drive from a results perspective is call containment. So AI in front of your call center or your live agent. We're looking to actually get the assistant to address the customer's queries or transactions without the need of any human intervention. The benefit of obviously putting AI first is that you can reduce the volume of any live agent requirements, and we have results in the field of upwards of 50%. Primary thing at the moment, to keep banks relevant is this engagement portion. So actually engaging, new generations in their platform of choice is kind of key these days, to remain relevant with upcoming neobanks in your market. So from a business driver perspective, these are the 3 main pockets that we focus on. As I mentioned on the previous slide, the servicing element, but we also look at actually acquiring new clients. So getting new products sold to customers. And then the engagement piece, really fighting for the lion's share of your customers, your existing customers' wallets. These 3 things are what we track from an ROI perspective. We do obviously alignment to your existing call drivers to build out an appropriate business case, prior to actually moving into a production environment. We do have a deployment already in the UAE with Emirates NBD and their deployments of their digital-only bank Live. This was launched as Olivia. So if you want to take it for a test drive, if you have an account with Live, you could get a view of exactly what we currently deploy today. It is deployed obviously in a mobile banking application, both Android and iOS, and does a handover to Fresh Chat from a live agent perspective. But we do have the ability to embed our capability in a web experience, in a mobile experience, and then in a range of different messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and then also directly in front of the call center in terms of digital voice. So actually people phoning in on a digital number with something like AWS and actually having the digital assistant address.
Justin, if you don't mind, I need to interrupt you. The 5 minutes is out.
That's it. My last slide.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Judges, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate the presentation. Short and sweet. My first question, you're going to be depending heavily on data and AI, and that would be provided by your solution too, or you're only providing the front end that will connect with APIs to the back end?
No, we are providing the data as well. So the underlying models of the skills that we provide, those are part and parcel to our solution. That it comes with a built-in CMS. So you actually can then customize the responses back going to your customer. But those are out of the box. From an AI perspective, those models are pre-trained and deployed from our perspective. The only data that we essentially need to access from a bank perspective is the back-end systems. So obviously the core account information, where the actual transactions are, that we tightly integrate through a series of APIs that we provide both on the back end, and then we have another layer on the front end to embed in your mobile experience or in your web experience.
So actually, in reality, you're providing a kind of like a digital platform where you have your your lead management system, your CRM that will feed into your front end solution.
100%, and that's the key thing around it. As you mature the experience, you can plug in other data points from a back-end perspective, and that's what we found in most of our engagements. Is that as you plug in one channel, let's take the banking support team in CRM, you essentially expand the usage of the platform, and that's I could bring up the architecture if you want to take a look, but I think it was in the slides that we put forward.
To be honest with you, when we did the shortlisting of your company, we did not think about the CRM solution. We're working on a CRM solution right now, but if you can be providing the CRM, that will complete the story. By the way, from the back end to the front end, tying all the customer 360-degree view, and you can take social. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the other piece is just, I see you going down the social route. We obviously can embed directly inside, Facebook Messenger, for instance, so that if someone wanted to interact with the digital assistants in that platform, they do have the ability to do that also. Okay, excellent. So it's a full servicing capability, as well as getting things like spend analysis. Products that are available, if you have a particular offer at a point in time, if you essentially want to have that as pushed notification out to customers, we do have that capability too.
And you've talked, it's an SDK, can be fully integrated within our mobile app. What about the online and web?
Yeah, so either of those, that's really a choice on your side. Most of our customers, because you want a consistent look and feel in terms of the experience, we typically would deploy both. So you would have an online experience, from the web, as well as the same capability deployed in mobile. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. No, I was just going to say the only piece is that obviously design considerations. Messaging platforms like WhatsApp aren't as feature rich in terms of graphics and imagery. So there are some design considerations, but web and mobile, you really can go to town with that. There's a lot available.
All right, 2 more questions from me, and I'll let you go. I've asked you this question last time in regard to the IVR. So you guys, as a digital assistant, you can fully integrate with our IVR system to continue that journey. We'll provide the same flavor, same look and feel from our mobile, online, and IVR, right?
That's 100% correct.
Excellent.
So the IVR piece poses a number of interesting use cases where you can use voice. So in other words, you're phoning through and you've actually got the digital assistant using voice, speaking back to the customer. Great for things like card activations. So there are a number of use cases there that really work quite well.
And that will work for English, Arabic, Hindi. I mean, do you support any voice recognition languages?
So that voice recognition piece itself is provided natively through AWS or Google. So it's really relied on what they provide from a voice perspective.
Okay, and my last question is just, I'm curious for the journey itself. Sure. You mentioned there is only one bank, which is JP Morgan, when it comes to the corporate channel. I'm interested to know very just briefly, what kind of digital assistant you provide to the cash management solution?
So things like 32-day positions on particular accounts, and it's actually about the banks. There's a team usually on the customer side that use the platforms themselves. A lot of the treasury management solutions are quite difficult to navigate, so it's actually using deep links to make the navigation simpler. So almost an enterprise search capability embedded in there. So there's a range of different things that we provide there, and it's a great reference to have, and they usually are available to discuss how we've deployed. But just a small correction, it is 2. It's Bank of Montreal and JP Morgan.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. No question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Any further questions? We're good.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, and best of luck. Okay, so let's introduce Blue Rush, Elizabeth.
Just wanted to confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
Your 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to pitch our solution for the UAB challenge. This is a co-partnership solution with LeMay AI, who's here with us today. Oh, my apologies. There is a technical, okay, my apologies. The reason why Blue Rush and LeMay AI partnered together is because the combination of our strengths creates the best solution for UAB. Blue Rush has over 15 years in financial services and proven success with Tier 1 financial services institutions. In the video, our interactive personalized video platform has proven lift in customer engagement, conversion, and ROI in digital channels. Our technology is highly secure and scalable to the millions at a low cost, and it has advanced real-time analytics that measures customer interactivity. LeMay AI, our partner, has successful projects in 21 countries with clients in financial services. It is highly accurate, real-time product recommendations and consistently improves recommendations by learning from customer behavior in real time. LeMay AI is also an official Canadian federal government AI supplier with experience in architecting secure AI solutions, complying with regulations. This is how our solution works. George shows up and the AI recommender system detects customer features, such as George accesses in the morning on his iPhone device at Abu Dhabi, has a credit card and other customer features. The AI recommender system will map to the best product. We show dynamic, hyper-personalized videos of the product and how the product works for George. A key feature of this solution is a dynamic personalization delivered through video with an AI system that's able to detect elements of a customer without access to direct client data. Because of individuals' dynamic personalization capabilities, we can multiply as many outcomes as possible, and an infinite number of people can consume these products. The goal here is to make it easier for each and every customer to understand the unique options and enable them to make more informed decisions. The individual technology enhances the touch point, the final touch point with the customer, and feeds data and customer insights back to the AI system. The investment product recommendation is an SVD-based recommendation engine that does not require personal data of customers. It uses customer to product associations to derive new recommendations. This is a widely used and highly accurate intelligent AI technology. We can cover any financial products, and we have seen significant proven results. At AFP Habitat in Chile, there was a 4 times average lift in conversion for customers who saw the personalized video statement. In this use case, conversion equals increased pension contributions. This is a powerful outcome from dynamic personalization as it helps a customer understand his or her options and takes an action. Here is a live solution demo on TD Bank's credit card selector website. From this implementation, TD saw an increase in their credit card sales. We will now show you our live demos on the TD channel.
Hi, based on your answers, it appears that the TD Cashback Visa card is the best choice for you. According to your average monthly spend, you can earn this much in cashback dollars each year. And with this card, there's no annual fee. With the TD Cashback Visa card, you earn 1% in cashback dollars on eligible grocery and gas purchases, and on regularly recurring bill payments set up on your account. You earn 0.5% on all other purchases made with your card. This card also includes great benefits, like coverage for most eligible new items you've purchased with your cards, should they be stolen or damaged within 90 days of purchase. Plus, your projected cashback dollars. Just click the Apply Now button on the page below to get started.
So using the combination of LeMay AI's recommendation system and in the video's dynamic interactive personalization capabilities, we will not just be recommending the right product, but we will also show how the product works for each unique customer. So by contrast, I will show you just really quickly a different product.
Hi, based on your answers, it appears that the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite credit card is the best choice for you. According to your average monthly spend, you can earn this much in Aeroplan points in your first year.
So in the interest of time, I will not play the full video, but this is a live demo on the TD website. And in closing, I would like to mention that our platform has omni-channel capabilities and can be deployed at any channel. We offer flexible deployment options and have successfully implemented with many global financial institutions. Thank you so much for your time today, and we're happy to take any questions during the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Judges, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's an exciting product, and I'm a living customer of this product, by the way. I know the sky is your limit whenever you generate those videos, because you can just ask for anything and you can generate those videos. It's exciting.
That's correct. Yes.
But have you engaged with customers and got their feedback? So, for example, you mentioned TD Bank. Have TD Bank done a survey and see how the reaction of the customers based on seeing videos versus PDF files?
Yep, and then we actually have a backend analytics as well that will measure ROI of our financial institution customers. So we have gotten our surveys back, and and it's a 90% lift in CSI score, and also they mentioned that watching these videos that's interactive and personalized has really it's a better conversion rate versus just watching a generic video that speaks to everyone generically. So we have real life proven results and analytics and
the reason I'm asking the question, for the past 2 years I've been seeing those kind of end of year statement from Bank of America, and I got excited because I saw it in a video. But I'm an IT person, and it was really personalized to me in my name with the cashback and the saving I've done. So I was excited. For the first time, I have looked at my report live on the video instead of reading it through a PDF file.
That's correct.
You guys providing a data model behind the scene, or you will depend heavily on our data warehousing and the data modeling?
And I'll pass the question to Daniel, who is our partner, our LeMay AI partner.
The Galaxy.
Sure. So we rely heavily on your data model because the recommendations are based on what products you offer. The product to customer association is specific to what you actually offer in the history of people. The way we overcome things like the cold start problem is we already get a lot of information from IP to location to know where you are, from time of day of your access, from what channel you're accessing by, like if you're coming in by mobile or website. Also, what kind of phone you have is helpful. So we're able to overcome the cold start problem of a stranger who shows up and you go, what video should I play them? We do have some information. It's not like we have nothing. What's really nice, though, is when someone's logged in and you know lots about them, then you can give a very hyper-personalized recommendation.
But I would imagine out of the box, since you have dealt in 21 different countries, you'll provide some use cases, right?
Yeah, there's some cool stuff that's not in the pitch. Like, for example, user clustering. If you just take the same vectors that represent users and items, you can say, like, how similar does the model think these two products are, or these two users are? So there are these like other things we can do with the same system.
Okay. And if we want to work with you in a POC model, how do you imagine this POC working and the time period, please?
We have slides for that. Go ahead. Do you want to jump to the POC slide?
Oh,
Elizabeth.
Okay. So really quickly, the timeline would be 4 months, and that's the historically that's the timeline for POCs for every bank we have worked with. And we will, so Blue Rush will be the main vendor. We'll work closely with you, and LeMay AI will be providing the customer modeling APIs.
So we'll give you a specific use case, and you guys will take about 4 months. Definitely, depending on the information that we'll provide you from our backend system, right? I mean, that will be a dependency.
Yeah, so this is an on-prem thing. It's not like we're exposing like a third-party REST API.
Right.
The integration is actually pretty simple. It's CSV based. I can show you examples.
Okay.
The reason for the timeline is a lot of customization. Elizabeth can talk a lot more about it, but basically nobody says, sure, I'll take what's out of the box. They always want something special.
Specific, right? Okay. I'm good from my side.
So it can cross-sell for each individual with all retail lending products, for example, loan, credit card. It can cross-sell. Yeah, so it knows from the database what products you're subscribed to, and it's not going to try and sell them to you again. You already have them. The whole idea is that it ranks all the products that you don't have to try and figure out what's the best one to recommend. And sometimes it doesn't know what to recommend because it says, I don't think you're going to buy any of these things. And then you can either not show them the ad or pick a random one. Okay. Thank you.
So just really quickly, I just wanted to add to the POC, you were asking about timelines and all that, and I didn't go into the details. The reason why it takes 4 months is because we're going to do it end to end. We'll be working on the creative assets. LeMay AI will be working in conjunction we'll be working hand in hand as well. And we'll be doing on the strategy. We're going to 2 months to implement, and then we wanted to make sure we have time to test drive it. And by the end of 4 months, you'll be able to see the full results of our implementation.
Okay, understood.
Okay,
Elizabeth,
yeah, there's one question I have. I think you people mentioned that apart from the banking data, which you'll get from UAB, you'll be accessing or looking at some other data points to profile the client or to figure out which product to recommend or to promote. So can I understand what data you look at? What is your basic procedure for profiling apart from, basically what are the data are you looking at apart from what data you get from UAB and the profiling data provided by the client?
So what we look at is the product subscription data, if available. Again, if it's like a person that comes in off the internet, we don't know what products they're subscribed to. And so we don't need to know everything about every client. Specifically, just about the data anonymity, we don't actually know who's who. It's just IDs. So unique IDs come into the system with features, and the model makes predictions based on not even using the ID, just using this set of features to make a prediction, a ranking of all the possible model results. And so we don't actually know, like if I was sitting in front of the computer that has all the data, I don't know anyone's name. I don't know any bank customer's subscription information. It's actually hard to infer because a lot of people are in the same cluster in the same group. So if the question is about like data security and a PII, it's not a thing. On the other side, if it's about like what are the specific features, we're looking at things like the list of products, the time of day, the device, what channel they're coming in on, those kind of like segmenting features like IP to location that tell you enough information to make a prediction. Like that extra information that's not product related helps us to predict what they're going to want.
And also just adding to how we handle the customer data from the front end, which is the individual platform. We do not touch the data at all. And it bypasses the platform. So all the data will be on-prem. And
okay, thank you.
Perfect. Any further questions from the judges?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
I guess we'll take 10 minutes for the judges to discuss the scores. Please wait for us. Judges, please, if we can go to the breakout rooms on the teams. Hello, everyone. We're back and to present the winner. Please, the startups, if you can open your screens, your cams. Perfect. Your Excellency.
Yes. Well, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of SCA, I would like to thank all the judges for their contribution and time today. And I also would like to take this opportunity also to thank the fintechs for presenting their impressive demos and solutions. I'm delighted to announce that the winner of today's UAE Innovation Challenge is Casisto. Congratulations and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Excellency.
Well done, George.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Justin.
So
Thank you very much.
making our financial system more resilient with technology is key, especially after the COVID pandemic. So thank you and all the best. And I'm proud that the UAE was the first country to lay the groundwork for a fintech ecosystem in the Middle East, and the sector has truly flourished here. So we want to continue to build on that success, and of course can clearly see from the 4 fintechs competing today that the Megathon is achieving that. So it has been inspiring to see this exceptional talent and attracting new ways of thinking in the UAE's financial services market is really key to making the UAE amongst the top fintech hubs globally. And with that, I would like to thank you all and congratulations again to the winner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much, Your Excellency. Dr. Ahmad, if you would like to say some words.
Yes, well, you called me doctor and I'm not, so I was waiting for some.
Apologies.
No,
it's fine.
Okay.
Please,
It's
Mr.
okay.
Ahmad.
No, thank you very much. It's great. In fact, I watched very attentively to the 4 fintechs, all great ideas, and I would like to thank them so very much. And just echo Her Excellency Dr. Mariam's note on UAE becoming a hub for innovation and technology for the future. So we're trying to do our part as much as possible in terms of United Arab Bank. And at the end of the day, as far as our strategy is concerned, we're totally tied up and aligned with the fintech community, and we would like to do more and more of this. So thank you so very much. And again, congratulations to the winners. And thank you for everyone else. Very much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad. Thank you. Justin, you would like to say some words?
I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and obviously to win is exceptional. So yeah, we look forward to the next steps and where we can showcase what we can do. So really looking forward to that. Thank you again.
Perfect. Congratulations. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for the startups. Thank you for participating. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.